That was definitely the wrong footage in the coming up, and I blame myself.
But we were so good.
Yeah.
No screw-ups this week. No, like, 8th time's the charm for us.
Well, except for the aforementioned.
Except for that part that
Yeah,
just
but
messed
that
up right
wasn't
there.
my fault.
That's true. That was my fault.
You want me to,
But I mean, it wasn't a
replace that?
deliberate-
Yeah, could you replace
problem.
that footage and Kathleen will redo the coming up?
Yeah.
That was my victory crab, as opposed to my come at me crab or my ghost.
Lithobreaker says the recent largest war in EVE Online was funded mainly by third-party ISK gambling sites.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. That was interesting.
A man walked across Canada to catch all the Pokemon. I don't see how that's possible, considering it only came out in Canada yesterday.
Yeah.
And it takes more than yesterday to walk across Canada.
It would take you months to walk across Canada.
Yeah. There was a lower third problem? Oh no. Which one? Let me know, Memo.
Checkpoint. 95% good this week.
You know, Desert Bus was not a Sega Saturn game. Desert Bus was a Sega CD game.
Yeah, Saturn and the CD are different. The
Yeah.
Sega CD was an add-on for the Genesis, and the Saturn was its own console.
Yeah. No, the Saturn had such hits as Acura Golf or Johnny Bazooka Tone.
To be honest, I couldn't name any Saturn games without looking that up, so I had to cheat with Wikipedia for that. But
Alone in the
apparently,
Dark 2, a visual novel.
the Saturn was really famous for having very good arcade ports, so it had like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
which
that's
was
true.
On there and stuff
Yeah,
like
D.
that.
We played D on Watch and Play recently.
Oh,
and,
that looked awful.
D, the game, it's not good. No, but it was a Sega Saturn game as well. Panzer Dragoon, that's true. Can you check the Street Fighter lower third? I mean, I can fix that in post, thankfully, but I may have messed something up.
No?
No, that's correct.
Starting at
Early to rise.
early to punch.
Yeah.
Getting at 7 a.m. Oh, that should be getting up. That's probably my typo, because I changed it to make it shorter.
Yeah, that'll be. Oh well.
You want to change that in video or?
No, I can just fix that in post.
Yeah. Getting up at 7 a.m. is just nasty.
No, I definitely do not want the D the game, because the D the game is terrible, and I don't much care for it.
Are we ready for my coming up?
All right, coming up.
Go for it.
Coming up, a man in New Zealand quit his job to walk around and catch Pokemon. Good for him, and good for us because we are done. No more Pokemon Go stories. Until next week, probably.
Also, yeah, definitely until next week, because every single story, Pokemon Go is so big right now that every single story gets put through the filter.
Oh, how
It gets
does
put
this-
through the Pokemon Go filter. But
Yeah.
like, how does this relate to Pokemon Go?
Technically, that was also the wrong video. That was last week's Pokemon Go.
Whatever. It's a Pokemon Go video.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Pokemon Go just came out in Canada, though.
It did.
Graham and I got it.
Yeah. We can
Caught a
hit
Charmander.
we can hit a Pokestop from our bathroom.
Yeah, that's really, really handy.
So, you know,
And
never
I can-
going to run out of Pokeballs.
And you can hit a Pokestop from the moon base, too.
Yeah, it's great. But I don't have any lures.
Gotta buy those things.
That was not.
You can earn them.
That was not the actual guy.
You can use an incense. An incense is like a lure, but just for you.
Yeah, but it works better if you're walking.
Yes. We can go on a Pokewalk later. See, did you see Adam and Lily going back and forth? Adam was like, I hate to suggest this, but we should go to the beach. And I'm like, wow, I can't think of a single sentence that's more antithetical to Adam's very core of being than to go to a place where you can't drink a beer.
Yeah, no kidding. Andrew, I saw that. Yeah, the political article describing Justin Trudeau as the Pokemon Go of political leaders.
Oh, no!
Like, what the hell does that even mean?
That doesn't make sense.
That means literally nothing.
It means he has not been downloaded multiple times in multiple countries.
Yeah,
He's popular, I guess.
he's popular. That's
Yeah,
not
we have a word for that already. It's called popular.
popular.
It's the Dark Souls thing, right?
We went to in a rare
Show of outdoorsmanship.
Yeah, in a rare concession to life in the outside world, we went down to the beach last night. A bunch of us to like
Yep.
to cook. Yeah, 'cause it was a great fusion of North American and Japanese because
and well, I was gonna say of North American weebiness.
yeah, we were going down to the beach with an open fire grill to make yakitori. Like Ian had like skewers of chicken hearts.
It was real good though.
They were tasty. But that was planned ahead of knowing that Pokemon Go came out in Canada. But there was like 6 Pokestops down there. It was crazy.
Like there was a gym like 2 blocks from where we were, and then while we were taking it for Team Mystic, Team Yellow came and like reclaimed it before we could like put a Pokemon on it.
Insight,
and then Team Valor was like playing from across the street.
I was looking around the gyms downtown. It's like Valor all up in this place.
Well then,
we gotta level some Pokemans.
we gotta go catch some Eevees.
How do you just choose to do that?
Well, Heather found one downtown.
Must be nice.
Well, I mean, we could go downtown.
My shit is lousy with drowsies. Victoria is mono drowsy.
Did you see that picture I tweeted to Foxmar? It was just like, what's nearby? 6 drowsies.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I've caught 3 in the living room. I feel like it's like pest extermination.
Should we call
an
exterminator? Oh, you need a chair, don't you, Paul?
I have to unmute myself.
Do you want me to bring another one of the chairs from the kitchen?
Sure.
That'd be great.
Why not? Thank you.
Oh wow,
We have friends. They're off camera. Don't worry about
Team
it.
Instinct, Team Valor, Team Mystic. I feel like we all decided to go with Team Mystic because it's blue and it's like a loading ready run color. Also, like I feel like Heather is the one among us who cares about Pokemon the most, and I had
Shift over. Can you?
Okay.
There we go. No. Oh god. Oh god. We're okay.
I was like,
Wait. Okay. I figured out a problem with this newer table. It's a little smaller. Is there a correlation between drowsies and weed? No, I don't think so. But I did name my highest level drowsy 420 because you know hilarious jokes, right?
I mean, maybe that's why they're popular in the Pacific Northwest.
Ha! Wait. Ha!
Got that.
Yeah.
All right.
Without breaking too many things. How's it going, everybody? Can you hear me? I hope so. I think I turned it on.
Well, then we'll complain if they can't.
We'll find out in a moment. All right, let's take a look at the news that we talked about and that we did not talk about.
Let's talk about the things we're not talking about.
Once I can load the document. There we go. All right.
That chat can hear you.
Cool. So yeah, Nintendo made a tiny NES.
Yeah.
That's really smart because you can go to, like, there's places that have licensed, you know, it's like, buy this brick that has 50 Atari games in it and you just plug it right into your TV.
And people love those.
Yeah, and this is official. There's no word on
Price.
No word on price or if they're HD or if there's the option to add like shitty CRT filters to it. But there are some games on this that aren't on the virtual console.
Yeah.
Oh.
The selection is actually, it's a pretty, it's, you know, I think it'd be hard pressed to name like a classic NES game
That's not on here?
That's not on here, except Duck Hunt.
Well, I mean, because you needed the zapper.
You need the
that.
zapper, and they don't.
Yeah, that would be kind of.
I mean, because it has the ports for the classic controller, but it doesn't actually. You need it to wirelessly connect to a Wiimote to do Duck Hunt. So, apart from that,
It's got like.
The fact that the
Does it have
ports
like Final Fantasy?
1 and 2,
yeah,
Wow.
which are the only ones that were.
the only one was for NES.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
I'd be surprised if it was like 6 as well.
the fact that the ports on the front are the
Oh right, it's $60. Yeah, they did say the price.
Oh, that's really good.
the fact that the ports on the front are the Wiimote like attachment ports and not just USB ports. Mm-hmm. I find very annoying.
The ports are a different shape. What? No, they said they'll take the classic controller.
Yeah, they're the same port as the one that's on the back of a Wiimote.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, you know, obviously everyone was like, wait a minute, are those USB ports? That means they're going to be releasing a USB like controller. That'd be awesome, but
No.
nope, that would give us joy. So they won't do that.
Wow, that page for that is amazing.
Does it come with a controller?
Yeah, it comes with one controller.
Oh, that looks like a old
Yeah.
controller. Oh, that's amazing.
It can also be used as a classic controller for a Wii.
That's so dope. I didn't know that. All right, so here's the list of games. Balloon Fight. Real quick. We joked about this in the episode, and this was Paul's theory. Nintendo thinks the Balloon Fight is a bigger game than it was?
And actually,
Maybe.
so some people in the chat were saying apparently in Europe, Balloon Fight was
Really?
popular.
Huh.
Like, for
I
me,
never knew anyone who had it.
Yeah, for me personally, like I was relatively into Nintendo stuff. I never had one, but I had friends who had it, and I never heard about Balloon Fight until it came out in WarioWare.
Yeah, same here. I'd never heard of it until it was a minigame in WarioWare.
But you know,
All right.
yeah, it's sold in Europe.
So, Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy 2, just Final Fantasy.
Oh,
Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climbers, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, because Mega Man 1 wasn't as good, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropics, Super C,
which is Super Contra, by the way.
yeah, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, The Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
This is a very good lineup.
That's a super solid lineup.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like, if you're one of the people that has to put like value versus hours
No.
of playtime.
No Battletoads.
No Battletoads.
I feel like
That was-
Battletoads might have been a bigger deal here than it was in other places.
Original Battletoads was Nintendo, wasn't it? There was a
think so.
There was a Super Nintendo version as well, but I think there was one for Nintendo.
It doesn't come with the controller. The box shows it coming with the controller.
I was under the impression it came with one controller.
Yeah, NES controller included.
Yeah.
Works with NES Virtual Console games on Wii U as
And
well.
then they're
This
also
is-
selling the controllers for $10.
Yeah, this is the official Nintendo website. Yeah, additional controllers just $10 each. So that's actually sweet. Wow, actually, the fact that it comes with a classic controller that looks like an old NES controller is actually rad. Now that I know that.
I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to sell like a classic controller that looks like an NES controller for $60 by itself.
Right?
So
At least 20 or 30.
yeah.
Yeah, this seems like a fine deal.
I mean, $10, cheap. All right.
So being able to like add new games to it or something would be awesome.
But they've said that that is not the case.
no,
Yeah.
it's just a hard-coded thing.
Kathleen, you did the story on this Street Fighter data.
There's lots of other really cool like Street Fighter like apparently the average play time is 2.5 hours. The Ibuki, I think her name is. She's a newer character. Don't know if she's new to this game. I'm not up on my Street Fighter, to be honest with you. Is like has the lowest win percentage, about 40%, and Bison has the highest, just over 50. But the game's overall very well balanced, and they're saying that her low win percentage is probably due to the fact that she's really hard to play, not necessarily that she's bad.
And Ryu is the most popular character.
Followed by Ken and Nash, aka two other people who look like Ryu.
Yeah. What a shock.
Yeah. Does Nash also have the same moveset as the
I
other
don't
two?
think so, but like he's like another big dude, right?
Edroach, yeah, we didn't do any stories on Evo. If we did, the story that I would want to do is basically they showed Street Fighter V on ESPN2, and a bunch of people were really butthurt about that on Twitter.
Why?
That they wasted time on ESPN2? Or
Yeah,
that it was...
a bunch of what is video games on? Where's my football? Give me a real sport.
There was I did like there was a story that the guy who won, I forget what his name is, but he wasn't allowed to play with the default costume for the character because it was considered to be too
Is he playing with Armika?
risque.
Her default costume has her butt literally hanging out.
Yeah. So, yeah, he had to play with one of the alternate costumes. But other than that,
I love that the best time
Also-
to try
also-
and get wins is 7 a.m. on weekends because that's when all the good Street Fighter players are asleep.
of course, now that that's out, it's all going to shift.
I know.
Everybody's going to start being. There's also going to be Evo Japan. That was some news that came out. So there's going to be a offshoot Japan specific Evo tournament, which, when you think about it, makes sense considering, the big companies that are involved in the Evo tournament are all Japanese.
Excellent. Next up on...
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. You work on this. The next story that we did was the breeding season story.
Yeah, the lights just flickered. That's cool.
It's the end times.
Yeah, like I said, it's tough for people who make, sex games to be taken seriously online. They can't get publishing. You aren't allowed to stream them on Twitch, so they have to go through, but there's a huge demand for them, which is why, like the highest, like the number one most funded Patreon is a guy that draws fan art porn. It's really good, but that's what it is. And the second one was this, which was breeding season. And yeah, it sounds like someone made a terrible decision in allowing their art director to keep exclusive rights to all the assets for the game.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. Like, nobody involved in a game should have
exclusive rights.
Like, no individual should have exclusive rights to any aspect of the game.
For this reason, really.
For exactly this reason, yeah. People will be like, yeah, it's like, you know what?
That's in fact why...
David Jaffe is like, you know what? I'm going to take Kratos and leave.
Yeah,
I don't want you guys to make God of War anymore.
But, like, this is why, like, typically when you're working on, like, when you're working for another company, they even try to put stuff in your contract that, like, stuff you create while employed here is also ours, just in case, right?
Or stuff you create on your own time.
I mean, that's usually worse. Like, that's usually, you shouldn't sign that contract. But, yeah, but I do love the quote of, like, hey, man, if you just want, don't worry, if you want to breed and sex up monsters, there will be a game for you. And it's like... It'll
be this other game that I am making. Please come fund it.
I feel like it's a ludicrous sentence, but I appreciate that it needs to be said because obviously there is a market there. Maybe we should be looking at shifting the checkpoint format to include also a naked monster girl.
It could be like a special correspondent.
There was a video in this article of like the beta, and of course, so you're running a farm, and the females are like monster girls they look like Felicia from Darkstalkers.
But just with various horns and other things?
Yeah.
Well, but like fuzzy arms, fuzzy legs, and like little horns or whatever, but then just like all their bit. No, completely nude otherwise.
Right.
I mean, you don't make your cows wear clothes.
And
horrible monsters.
The males in this transaction look like a D&D gnoll. Like a giant furry beast man.
Did you see the Olaf cartoon that came out like I think 2 weeks ago about like why do all like all monster women look like human women, but why do human men look so weird?
Yeah, right.
Right? Like they don't. What is going on here? And so Olaf is. So they don't read that at work if you're at work.
So it's. Yeah, it's actually some slightly related a story we didn't talk about, but the guy who's done a couple of games that have been banned on Twitch.
Oh yeah, like Radiator 2.
Yeah. Well, Who's Your Daddy, I think was the one, and so he came out with this thing called Radiator 2 on Steam. Which was a sort of a re-release of a couple of his games. Was like sort of an HD, revamp of some of his games, which were previously fine to be streamed on Twitch. But this Radiator 2 thing has been banned on Twitch, and so this guy's getting really annoyed because
it's like he's banned by association,
and it's like he's making. And it's one of those things where it's like he's making games that have sexual content that are
they're not like
sexually oriented games, but they're not
they're not explicit.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, they are showing stuff, but the idea they're not the like Monster Rancher whatever breeding game.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to say something interesting about it, and they are something that he feels really strongly about, and Twitch just will be like, nope, can't show that. And he's like, why?
Because.
Yeah. He says that they deliberately keep their stuff vague so they don't actually have to make any particular, so that there's no way he can change his game to make it work.
I mean,
because he doesn't know what aspect of it is causing the problems.
In Twitch's defense, I'm glad they keep their stuff vague so they can just be like, No, because like if they didn't, you'd have people creating some truly like abhorrent games that just made it, so they could be like, lol, 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 look at this crap that they have to have on Twitch, right?
Right.
So like I feel fine that Twitch has like I sympathize, and I think this guy is sort of in a bad position.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Robert
Twitch,
Yang, thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I feel like Twitch needs to keep a sort of overall vague policy so they can just be like, oh, I mean, technically that doesn't break any rules, but no, right?
Right. It's just yeah, you end up with this, and like, Witcher has explicit stuff in it, but Twitch says it's fine.
And it's because
this has
Twitch's thing is it's okay for a game like The Witcher to have sex in it.
Because
but
sex is not the point of the game.
but if the whole point of the game is sex, then it's a problem. And Robert Yang is like, yeah, sex is the point of my games. They're
about sexuality.
Yeah, not for like titillation, but that is what the games are about. From like their art, right? And so
it's like if
Twitch is like, nope.
And it's the whole thing, like if he added like whatever, a little like Flappy Birds thing at the beginning, would that then make it okay, right?
Right. Probably not.
I mean, like there's a lot of when you portray sex items in a non-sexual way, even if it's an art project, there's a lot of problems. Like there's a famous artist in Japan, and she made a kayak where the opening looked like a vagina. Specifically, it was modeled after her own vagina and labia, and she got arrested for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yes.
Jeez.
All right, because you're not allowed to depict,
female genitalia. So yeah, but like obviously that was not a sex thing.
What if she did it out of blocks?
Yeah, she should have done it Minecraft style,
Lego.
so it looked like pixelated.
she made this in real life and then paddled around with it in Tokyo.
That's amazing.
See, like but it was an art project.
The
Obviously,
paddling
like
around
that's
with
not a
it is
sex
what really
thing.
makes it.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's great.
Anyway.
Valve has finally said something about all the CS:GO stuff. We talked about this in the Aftershow last week, and they finally said like something, which is basically, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. And it's sort of like,
No
why
shit.
didn't you say that a long time ago?
And it's not even that now that you're not allowed to, like, they haven't actually made any judgment about the idea of gambling. The thing that they're saying is that you can't use
Their API
to transfer the stuff back and forth. So if they find a different way of transferring the funds rather than doing it through the skins, then they can get around that. But at least I guess Valve wants to eliminate any liability they might have.
Yeah, basically Valve can't tell them not to run a gambling site, but they can be like, we're not going to be party to a gambling site. You cannot build your gambling site on our platform, right?
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And then by the same token, Twitch, which obviously allows gambling, because they have an actual section for poker.
like poker and stuff.
But it's one of those things where they allow gambling, but clearly they don't want people doing bad things. People giving bad information and that kind of stuff, and swindling people and that kind of stuff. So
a word to that.
Yeah, Valve blocking it made it so that they could then block it.
One of the things I said in that story was at least one of those sites was rigged. Now, when I said that, there was a little bit of discussion in the writers' room about what we meant by that, but one of the sites, specifically CSGO Lotto, rigged the system for people making YouTube videos and streaming it. So I guess when we say it was rigged, maybe it wasn't always rigged, but at certain times and for certain people it was rigged.
Mm-hmm.
And so
allegedly.
Allegedly, but I mean,
because apart from the two,
it wasn't always rigged.
Apart from the two guys who were the center nexus of that whole thing, a different other guy said that he did videos for them where they were like, yeah, you'll do a video on your site and we'll rig the thing so that you win and it'll look cool for your viewers.
Yeah.
And so he is a separate person has alleged that. So
I mean,
it's not a good look.
What's actually interesting there is whether that guy was playing like against
real people.
That's
even worse.
Like if that guy was playing against real people, or whether they just like gave him the thing and sort of pretended the whole thing.
Yeah.
If he was playing against real people, then yeah, that's even worse, because not only is it like defrauding the real people who were doing it, but then he also made the video that gets more people into stuff.
Yeah.
Bad times.
Oh yes, and then the Sega Saturn thing. I love that they've bang their heads against this Sega Saturn CD drive DRM thing for a long time.
Probably maybe since the Saturn has come out.
Probably. And they just can't.
It's pretty cool, actually, how they...
Because of it's something to do with the ROM access.
Well, it's like
that makes it difficult for them to get into the actual CPU that handles the CD drive.
Well, and it's the CDs themselves, Sega Saturn CDs, are special. They've got this special, like, wobbly track around the outside that burners cannot burn, can't do. And so they were like basically like a proprietary thing.
Yeah.
That because CD burners have the tracks already inscribed in them, you can't redo this thing. So it turns out that was actually very effective in terms of blocking it. The only way people had previously been able to do it was like replacing the entire CD system with a different thing.
And so basically what they decided here is just like, all right, forget the CD.
Yeah,
we're just going to go right to the actual CPU of the thing. We're going to bypass the CD drive, and we're just going to load a ROM from USB directly onto the thing. They go in through the video slot that is used for decoding MPEG.
And it just happens to have an in to the rest of the system.
And they just go right into the system that way, yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess that then the stuff on the USB drive just pretends to be the CD drive and be like, hey, look, here's a CD. Why don't you play it?
Have the CD. Why not? But
I'm just reading various members of like the chat are still weighing in on the CSGO situation, and there's other people and other sites that we didn't talk about because it's just huge and it's just exploded. But really funny comment from Lord Hosk. Maybe it's just because I'm old, but when I see unregulated online gambling, my assumption is rigged.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the people, the problem with this is, and we've said this before, is a lot of the people who are doing this were underage and, maybe don't make that assumption.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like considering how angry, or not angry, but like how frustrated you get about like RNG stuff.
Yeah.
Like in a video game when there's no money on the line.
Yeah.
When there's money and it's just like boop, you didn't win.
Oh.
Like I don't think I could ever do that. I could never even if I know intellectually.
Here's $5.
That it's
Do I get $10? No.
No.
Oh.
Computer says no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Computer says no.
So many stories about Pokemon Go. We talked about this, that just everything is being put through the lens of Pokemon Go now.
Yeah.
There's a story, actually I saw some people in chat talking about it. There was a story from, I believe it was Perth? Where was it? It was the... Sorry. The Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, asking people not to put lures on the Pokestops near the hospital because it's like, look, these kids can't leave, and it sucks enough that Pokemon Go is happening out there, but to put a lure on one right outside the hospital
and you're
that
still
they
too
can't
far away?
get to just makes it worse. So please
don't.
don't.
That's a dick move.
Well, I mean, people thought they were being nice, so they can't leave the hospital, but you can get to this Pokestop, right? But if
I mean, I understand that it came from a position of
wanting to help.
This will be great. We'll put lures on the Pokestops at the hospital, and
the
it'll be great.
Pokemon will come to them.
The hospital themselves are like, it's actually super complicated, and please don't do that.
Various other things. Apparently, EV evolution is a bit up in the air. If you'll get a Jolteon, a Flareon, or a Vaporeon, but people think they've cracked it.
Yeah, if you change, apparently the name of the Pokemon can have an effect on.
Really?
Yeah.
What about how you stand with the phone?
Yeah,
Use the rotation sensors.
What if I call all of them my son?
The thing that
I am not the first person to make that joke.
one that I thought was really interesting is people figured out that because Pokemon Go uses the same map data as Ingress. Because sometimes, the way Pokemon Go displays, where the Pokemon is close, can sometimes be a little bit difficult to interpret. Whereas Ingress, which is using the same map data, shows the stuff in a different way. And what people have found is that places where there's a lot of portals or whatever the thing you're looking for in Ingress is, places where there are sort of clusters of those are also places where rare Pokemon show up.
Oh.
But they're easier to find in Ingress.
Interesting.
So if people
we should talk to Heather.
people have actually been
Because
like
Heather played Ingress too.
Yeah.
people have actually been like burning their battery twice as fast because they have Ingress in the background, and then they'll like switch to Ingress and be like, okay, where do I go?
So-
and then switch over to Pokemon.
So 2 points on that. One, the actual map data is pulled from Google Maps. So pro tip, open up Google Maps on your phone and go to offline mode and download your town. It's like 30 megs or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah,
And will that
download it, and that will make Pokemon Go run more quickly and use a little less battery because it doesn't have to keep downloading the map data from Google Maps because it's stored locally on your phone. So that's
I'm gonna go do that before we go on our Poké Walk
Obviously,
today.
it's still checking for all the Pokemon stuff.
yes,
but
that's pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2 has now escaped my head. Oh yeah, this is not a pro tip. That's why it
Water.
escaped my head because it's not a pro tip at all. Just thought it was funny when Cam was going out for a Pokewalk the other day. This dude drove up in a pickup truck who's a massive Ingress player, like very high level Ingress. He had like
stuff on his truck to indicate this?
he had cell phone antennas and like radio equipment in the truck, and he pulled up and was like, are you playing Ingress or Pokemon? And he was trying to recruit Cam to start playing Ingress. Like this guy was like Ingress anorak. Like he was
oh man,
committed to Ingress.
Ingress people must be kind of pissed off at Pokemon Go.
Oh,
now.
probably.
Yeah.
Because Ingress, very popular.
Yeah. The devs say that won't work. What, the map thing?
Yeah, the devs say it doesn't actually help.
Huh. Well,
But
then
people.
placebo for everyone then, I
Yeah.
guess. All right, fair enough.
I mean, obviously, GPS pinging is going to be a large portion of the battery usage.
That's what I thought, yeah. But, oh well. Okay. This is great.
Oh, Hideo Kojima said something very Hideo Kojima.
I love this so much. Hang on, I gotta open this link. Whoa, what? No, hang on. Why?
Fans offering up Wi-Fi instead of candy now. Yeah, if
No.
somebody offers, if somebody says
Hey
like
kids, I got a
have,
battery backup.
or like I have a Snorlax in the back of my truck, do not go looking
No.
for it. That person is lying.
So this was an interview with
Graham.
what?
I just thought it was like Missy and Dave were taking Milo out on Poké Walks. We can go with Missy and Dave and Penelope and Milo, and we can take our babies on Poké Walks.
Sounds amazing. Hideo Kojima, being interviewed at Develop, said, quote, "As we get nearer to the ability to add through technology, the ability to portray more expression and things such as temperature, it will soon be easier to reach out through games online than actual interaction between human beings. We're really close to the point where it will be easier to get emotions through games than actual people."
I'm really glad that Konami's not muzzling Hideo Kojima anymore, so we can just occasionally get updates like this from his world.
What I love is that, unlike Peter Molyneux, he did not say,
So my next
my
game
next
is going to be
game
amazing.
will interact emotionally with you better than actual people. He's just saying crazy bullshit, and it's like, oh, Kojima, I've
Never-
missed you,
yeah.
you weird man.
Yeah. He's like, if all goes according to plan, eventually we won't have to interact with real people at all.
Can you explain the term Ingress Anorak, Graham, for the chat?
Oh, anorak. It's an anorak. It's the coats, right?
It's like a
Yeah.
puffy coat with a hood.
and it's a UK term. Maybe someone from the chat from the UK can explain it a little bit better. It's basically like,
It's a geek.
yeah, but did
It's
it,
like-
Somebody
really
who's
into
unhealthy
something.
obsession.
Okay,
Yeah.
the term comes from the guys who are like so into trains that you see them
Right.
standing out in their anoraks, like in the middle of nowhere, waiting to see a train as it goes by. So they're like, I have seen
Train
all
spotters,
of the trains from the Midlands, right?
yeah.
So like that's the term.
But why do I think it's functionally different from geek? I don't know.
I feel like anorak is just more intense.
I think it implies the level of infrastructure.
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway,
Otaku? That's actually not a bad otaku, but for something else.
sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Train spotter, but for Ingress. Yeah. It's like a geek wearing a wax jacket. Sounds good. So yeah,
So presumably he was getting at something there.
what, Kojima?
Kojima.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's just sort of.
I like that just every once in a while somebody just is like, hey, Kojima, say something funny.
Yeah, I don't think we're as close to that point that I don't know that games will ever experience emotions better than interactions between regular people. But if that ever does happen, I don't think we're as close as he thinks we are.
Also, like, it makes me think about, like Metal Gear games, right?
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, have, quite very interesting, in-depth stories and everything like that. But the kind of lines that people, like, the way people talk in Metal Gear games, and, like, the lines that are back and forth, like, they could not, do you think love blooms on the battlefield? All that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Kojima, very, very talented game designer.
Thank you, Chronopticon.
Maybe
Anorak
not-
is more intense.
Maybe not the best at the realistic dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Anorak is taking your geekdom to a more intense level. It takes a lot of commitment to train spotting to like go out in all weathers to the middle of nowhere just to be like, there's that train. Good. Back we go.
I feel like a regular like train geek would be like neat, and an anorak would be like huffing on the train to go look in the windows,
Yeah.
or maybe just to smell it.
A casual train spotter seems even weirder to me, but train spotting itself is a weird thing for me. So
Yeah.
all right,
That's what we got story wise. Shall we begin the welcoming of the subs?
yes. Let's see if this works again.
It worked last time, and I was really impressed by it.
I was very.
Paul, this is so. The first time we did it in this room, Paul had to get up and go back over to the computer and unplug himself and set the thing up. And then last week when we did this is me explaining what it is and also giving him the time to do it. He has set up a
web app
web controller for XSplit
over there.
to save him
but
walking
he's
to
here,
7 feet.
and he's
Yeah.
gonna go boop 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 on his phone.
Because I don't like walking.
No.
It's a smartphone that can do more than, play Pokemon Go and Tiny Tower and stuff like that. They're good
However, it does not. It's not. Oh, probably because I know why. One sec. Continue stalling for time.
Alrighty then.
Hey, Graham,
Oh no. What's up, Kathleen?
what's blue and smells like red paint? Blue paint.
Paint smells the same.
My
Actually,
deep sigh.
that joke is supposed to be what's blue and tastes like red paint.
My deep sigh there was not that I saw the punchline coming. I did, but only because Kathleen completely got me with that the other day.
Yeah.
100% walked right into it. I was just like, gee, Kathleen, I don't know what's blue and smells like red paint. Blue paint.
I had some other good like dad tear jokes.
Hashtag mom jokes. Exactly.
Yeah.
You've been way worse.
I'm trying to give you material. I'm trying to help.
Thanks. Terrific.
I'm helping.
Some kind of help is the kind of help.
All right, Paul, are you?
All right,
am I-
let's do this.
Yes, perfect stall. I'm on fire today.
All right.
I will refer to this list here because the camera and everything is directly in front of the monitor. I'll take a picture of this, but
Can I also refer to this list then?
sure.
All right.
It's because it's equally monitored. Wow, is that as big as it gets?
Beowuuf. Beowuuf with a
Oh, I guess I can't
35-month
read it.
resub.
Thank
Says 245 dog months.
Find quote butts for 2 months. Thank you for subscribing.
Caleb, 1 year of subscriptions. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Who says, say my name. Fine quote butts, by the way, says, Arborist Andrew.
Arborist Andrew, right.
The 10-month resub. Welcome back, Arborist Andrew. Chrono2X with a 22-month resub.
Chrono2X.
Says, yay for gaming news.
Rybackgaming says, feed me more. 3 months.
Says, checkpoint hype. Love the stuff, guys.
RetroactivePancake. It's a pancake a while ago.
2-month resub says, Snorsh lady, huzzah.
Zabaron for 33 months.
Welcome back.
The Architect Unstructured, 29 months of support. Thank you.
HolidayMD.
Who's reading what?
30-month resub says, we need more Adam.
Okay, you read the flavor text.
Yeah.
Paul and I will alternate.
Okay.
Edroach, 25 months.
Welcome back.
Blitzkrieg.
Bezekric.
Bezekric. Whatever. There should be an L in there.
Says such a lovely number with a
Bezekric.
17-month resub.
Random Robin, 16 months.
Hotliquidjello.
11-month resub
Yeah.
says, love the G-Vlog. Thank you, Hotliquidjello.
Mercano82, 31 months.
Says, it's a good thing I have my knife block umbrella.
PropanePsycho for 2 months. Thank you for subscribing.
Welcome back.
Dr. Nick for 26 months.
Says, Team Valor shall rule the world.
Catcard for 15 months.
Says, Team Mystic for life.
Oh! RebelliousUno, 5 months.
Says, blue team is best team, go Team Mystic.
Oh my goodness.
MikeSmith 916 for 23 months.
Welcome back.
Count Zero, 10 months.
Says, it's pronounced count 0.
Computer says nope.
New
He's a new subscriber. Thank you very
Yay.
much.
Dedwrekka, 7 months.
Says, yeah, checkpoint. Woo!
RainbowBatsuit for 6 months.
Count 0 also said 10-month hype. Welcome back, Rainbow Batsuit.
Eikoand Mog, 30 months.
Says, woo!
Anotherone underscore.
The 10-month resub says, ...
Ooh, so mysterious.
I think in Metal Gear that's pronounced. Well, it's either that or
Yeah,
Right,
I think is like the classic
Metal Gear. ...
for me. All right.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody.
That's it for Checkpoint today. Tonight is...
Matters of import?
No, it's Tinker Tailor,
Right, yes.
where... No?
No, it's
Yeah.
matters.
No, it is Matters of Import.
It is important with trains.
Oh yeah, right. It's train time. They're playing
Densha D.
They're playing Japanese transport games. Woo! So they're playing Densha D and a couple other ones.
Which is different from the Sega Saturn game D.
Yeah. When we played Densha Day D, I can't. When we played this before, I say we. It was Ian and Alex and.
Oh, it's Densha Day Go, apparently.
Densha Day Go, thank you. And Ian's friend Dan Ross. Sorry, because last time we called it Densha Day Dan, because Dan was there, because these were Dan's games. Not Dan's games as in Dan's game.
Yeah, speaking of anoraks.
A guy
says
named
the
Dan
chat.
that we know. Anyway,
Yeah.
we were like,
This would be an appropriate game for somebody who's big on train spotting.
yeah, we were like, this seems weird. And then we started playing it. We were like, this is rad.
But,
Yeah.
but
Have you ever wanted
also
to
weird.
Have you ever wanted to drive a Japanese commuter train? We have the game for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that is in...
Oh my God, Graham!
What?
This has not come out in our Japan vlogs yet, but do you remember when? Spoilers, on the way back from Takayama, we got to sit in the very front seat, right behind the driver. It
so
was
good.
so amazing. And to do the timing check, all of them had like a different.
Well, because we had two different drivers, and they would... There was a thing that obviously that like JR Train Systems taught them to do for like... They had their exhaustive list of timing points, and then when
Turns
one of
out
them...
that's how the trains run on time, is they have a schedule.
Yeah, like they
Interesting.
like speed up or slow down
Check
between every
schedule,
timing
eh?
point. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but-
so they would do this point thing where, and it was different. One of them would be pointing out the front, and he would go point, like that.
As he
It'd
was
be like,
passing a timing stop.
he would like bring his hand up, touch his head, point like that. The other one would do up, out.
Yeah,
With their
the more
with their
deliberate was
white
an older guy,
with their white
and then
gloves.
the younger driver had more flair with his point delivery. So we should get Ian and Dan to do that.
Oh yeah,
The pointing?
yeah.
Yeah, for the pointing
They
for their
need
timing stop.
they need white gloves.
We have some in the prop room,
All right,
sure.
good. We'll make sure they wear them. That we can't back that up. But that's in
Seems like it would be hard.
that's in a little under 4 hours at 6 p.m. Pacific tonight. So check that out. And then tomorrow on New Day Tuesday, Heather and Kathleen.
If I can,
Well, I'm going to watch Penelope.
then yeah, Heather
Okay.
and Kathleen.
Are going to be playing a Jerpage from Square's new Jerpage Factory.
I'm extremely excited by this.
I think it's just called Tokyo JRPG Factory.
I mean, hopefully the names.
The lamest name for a game developer ever.
Are they going to make more classic JRPGs that people just want? If so,
What's the name of this actual game?
I don't.
can't
it's
remember.
Something super Japanese. It's like on the level of Fire Emblem, Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem. No, what is it? Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp Effie. It's on the lines of that.
Oh,
of it.
real quick, Neomity with an 11-month resub, welcome back, says almost a year. Thank you so
Nice.
much. Let me try and figure out what this, I Am Setsuna, that's the game.
I Am Satsuna.
Yes.
Oh, that's almost pronounceable.
Yeah. I am a tiny orange.
I am delicious.
No?
Yeah.
I am bread.
That's a
That's a satsuma.
Satsuma,
Not
right?
a setsuma.
I am a kumquat. No? My game's not going to sell, is it?
No.
Okay. Thanks for watching Checkpoint,
They're
everybody.
more of a niche fruit.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, you can turn that off from here, but how do you mute the microphone from here?